It's the Jack
and Cathy
show.
Shit show.
And there we go.
Yeah,
okay,
like
I think if
Okay.
Okay.
3, 2, 1.
That was a bad clap.
Oh, well, we could clap again, but since I'm now producing it, I'm not going to know which clap I'm producing to. Let's do it again. Let's just clap the whole time. 1, 2, 3. Let's do it one more time. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Oh, come on. You're not even getting your hands up.
No, because I know what's happening now.
What's happening now?
It's all kinds of fuckery.
Oh, stop it with the swearing.
Hi, babe.
Hey, baby. Lots of changes in the air, and I'm singing about them
Yeah,
here.
it's kind of a changes kind of day.
Changes kind of day.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, my God.
You're not in the mood for my hijinks.
This is true.
I'm just annoying.
It's almost 9 o'clock, and 9 o'clock p.m.
9 o'clock p.m.
So I'm a little tired.
You're a little cranker, too.
Yeah, I'm a little cranky.
You're a little crankery.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's been a long night for you. I'm sorry. Why are you laughing?
What's happening right now?
Why are you laughing
What are
at
you
it?
doing?
Don't support this behavior. It just makes me do it more.
All right, babe.
Okay.
How was your day?
Well, that was a good podcast. You want to read the question? Let's just jump to it. 1:45. That's what it's become. Well, we have news for all of you listeners out there. Key quit. Isn't that great? Because she's going to listen to us. Be like, I did not quit. You quit. I should have said she was fired.
More dramatic.
It would have been so much more dramatic. Key is very busy with her new job.
Mm-hmm.
And called tonight and said, hey, is it okay if I don't do the producing anymore?
So we're looking for a new producer.
Oh, I
so
see your
if
glasses
any
on.
of the 7 people, I know, that's why I bought you the blue ones.
Mm.
If anybody knows a producer out there that would like to work for
someone
us,
that
DM us.
If you know of someone that maybe a kid, college kid, high school kid wants to do this stuff on the side.
Anyone
Key,
studying
production and video recording and that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So we're looking for someone to do this now. Key just acknowledged that she's been so busy. So you may notice that sometimes we go a couple weeks without a podcast, and that's just because Key is backlogged.
Mm-hmm.
So the good news is she was honest about it, which is not an easy conversation to have with your dad.
Right.
Like, hey, I can't do this anymore. And she even acknowledged that she loves connecting with us, and we do too. That's a fun way for us to bond with her. She is, however, very busy with her work. Yeah. And so that comes first. In fact, you heard me say tonight, you are your priority, right? That's a really good thing. I like saying that. You are your priority. Everything else follows. So she's too busy to do this anymore, so we fired her, which feels great. And without any compensation, meaning
we would
no
take her
Cobra.
back in a heartbeat.
I didn't give her Cobra. I didn't give her severance. Felt awesome. I'll take her back tomorrow. So we're definitely looking for someone, and the good news is I know how to do this.
Good news, bad news, right?
Good news, bad news. Yes, I know how to do this very well. I just don't like doing it because it takes time. So I'd love to find someone to help, and we do pay. Not very well.
You're not going to get rich off of us, but if you want some,
well, if you were up for doing them,
engineering.
I mean, we'll talk. If there's someone out there that thinks they know someone who wants to take a hand in this, we'd love to talk to them about it. So that's our first minute of the news, and so we're done because I don't feel like producing this. 4 minutes is all I want to do.
It'll be okay, babe. It's going to work
through
itself out.
Well, it was funny because before we got on air with all of our fans.
Yeah.
There we go. I actually said to you, I don't know if I can do the podcast anymore.
Mm-hmm. You did.
Which I hope that would
Said
actually
that
upset
just
people.
Moments ago.
Part of me wants people to be sad that we would give it up. And at the same time, understand that if we can't do it, we can't do it. because I love this. I actually like these moments.
Then we'll figure it out, babe.
We will.
I like it too. I think
Cheers
it's good. I
to
think it's
that.
actually good for us. I think it really we don't have a problem talking to each other. So it's not like without the podcast we're going to stop talking.
Wait, you think we should get rid of the podcast?
Okay. Pay attention. You
Wow.
stopped listening
Wow.
for a second. You went away.
Oh,
your brain
you just
went
got
away. I
so
saw
snappy.
you.
You got so snappy.
I saw you.
I'm trying to visualize
away.
me saying, "Pay attention," and the outcome of what that would look like. Okay, I will pay attention.
You stopped listening for 1 second. I saw it on your face.
I totally went to another place. Okay, go.
I was saying that I'd be sad to not have this podcast. Now, to be sure, I don't think you and I would stop talking because we talk all the time. Hence the impetus for even starting this podcast, right? But I do think it's good for us. I think it's...
What is good for us? That's what I heard. What is good? Stopping the podcast? Because it sounds like you're saying, however, you just said, however, I think it's good for us.
Well,
how do I not see? Pay attention, she says to me. You said all that. I heard all that. And you said, however, I think it's good for us. What's it? Not doing the podcast?
no, I said if we stopped, because you had said you wanted to stop doing the podcast. And I said that would be upsetting. That would bother me to stop. But it's not like it would stop us from talking.
Correct.
But I do like that we do it. I think it's very good for us.
So what is good about still doing the podcast? What is this? What is good for us right now? You're like, this is good for us. You mean the podcast is good for us?
Yes.
I thought you meant the change. I thought we're talking about the change the whole time. See, and everyone thinks we just get along all the time and we're so happy. At least I get to see the real us, because this doesn't come out often where we're literally arguing something. You mean you think the podcast is good for us? I thought you meant the change is good for us.
Playback?
Don't. It's still going to be confusing. You know what? Bill Clinton famously said, "What is it?" That's what he said, famously. Because it's too... So, okay, you think the podcast is good. I thought you thought the change of key, abandoning us, was good.
No, babe. It was all that what I was saying stemmed off of your expression that I wanted to quit the podcast.
Yeah.
And I wonder if our 7 listeners would be disappointed or whatever. But
you feel this is good for us. It's almost therapy in a way. So even if no one listened to it, having it.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, this is for us, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
It is.
And
You're right.
I think that's what
and people got to see the real us for a moment there. That's what we sound that's what we sound like at home, if you guys want to hear it. Right?
Oh my gosh.
Breathe. 478 478 478. I love you.
I love you too. So what were we talking about?
Well, we talked about Key. Son of a.
We're gonna
I'll
miss
get
her.
over it. Of course, She said something that was true, is that this is a way for her and I to bond, because she's in Seattle and she's busy and the time change, and we don't see her ever, even though we're going there in November. We can talk about our travel because I'm excited about that.
Mm-hmm.
So it is a way for us to talk, and she'll even call going, "Oh, I was listening to podcasts and I really like this part," or so it's just unfortunate, and it's life. And we will adjust. And so it's
we'll
all
figure it out.
good.
Mm-hmm.
So let's segue to our travels coming up.
Okay.
Which I'm really excited about. One of them was to Maryland.
2 weeks from yesterday. So
2 weeks from yesterday.
Yeah. I don't know when this podcast is coming out, but
this one will come out tomorrow. So this is going to come out. So we're recording this October 3rd. It's going to be out. What's today, the 3rd?
Today's the 3rd.
It's going to be out the 4th. And then the interview with Terry. I'm going to get it done tomorrow.
Wow.
I'm going to do it. I told you I want these things done every Wednesday. I want our podcast to come out every Wednesday. So Key should have the other one done, which is our interview with Terry Luna. And to be fair, that's a really long interview. It's an hour, 20 minutes.
Yes, it is.
With a lot of components to it. So I get why it was hard for for Key to do it, even though she's done it before. So 2 weeks from yesterday, we'll be in Ma Chérie Amour.
We will be in Paris with ma mère et
Ma
mon
père.
père.
I don't know how to say aunt and uncle or brother-in-law and sister-in-law.
Yes, my mom and dad and my brother and sister-in-law were super excited. We are traveling to Paris first, and then we are spending a few days there, then renting a car and driving to Luxembourg.
And why are we going to Luxembourg?
We are going to Luxembourg.
And why are we going to Luxembourg, Cathy?
Because my mother, my brother, and myself are pursuing dual citizenship in Luxembourg. So, it's kind of exciting. So it's been a couple of years in the making where we had to gather all kinds of documents and showing our lineage and send all that in, and then you wait to hear back, and then you do an FBI background check, and then you wait to hear back.
And they still didn't find out about you.
They haven't.
I know
that name change
FBI.
and years ago really took hold. And then once you go through all those, thanks, babe.
Yep.
Once you jump through all those hoops, you get an appointment time to visit the consulate in Luxembourg in person. And you have to go in person in order to complete this process. And actually, from what I remember, once we do the in person and we get the paperwork back, then we have to go to the Luxembourg consulate
in D.C.
in the States, and there's only two, one in California, one in D.C.
Well,
we'll go to D.C. at some point and do the final step,
right,
and I'll get a passport, a Luxembourg passport.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's kind of, and people have asked me, like, why do you want to do it? And I just basically think it's freaking cool to have the opportunity to do it.
For sure. And we're going to move to Europe.
And then, that could be too.
Or Costa Rica.
And not that we couldn't move to Europe without a passport.
No,
but,
we could. It helps, though, right?
Yeah,
right?
And
it does.
And then should either of my children want to study in Luxembourg, they could, have some advantages to their studies over there.
Well, they could become citizens too then, correct?
Yes, they would have to do the process themselves. And then I can also travel in the EU.
Without me.
In the short line. And I will be waiting for you at the cafe with a glass of wine.
So adorable of you. So maybe you can get your own companion pass on Southwest then.
Well, you are Irish, Italian and Polish.
Yeah. What is that?
And I'm sure there is something that you can pursue in there.
No.
No? No?
Other than needing a lot more therapy because of it, no. There's nothing I can do. I looked into it.
You did?
No. I'm lying. I just don't feel like doing it. I'm just really sad right now. Because every time I'm looking at the clock, it's, I got to listen to this whole podcast and produce it.
Would you stop already?
I'm such a whiner right now, aren't I?
Let's manifest another producer. That's what we're going to do.
Okay.
We are going to do that. We are going to manifest another
I'm very
producer.
excited about the trip, but you haven't finished.
I haven't finished. So then after Luxembourg, the six of us traveled back to Paris, at which time my brother, sister-in-law, mom, and dad hop on a flight to head home, and Jack and I have decided to extend our trip by a couple of days. We have not been in Europe together before, so we are going to Lucerne, Switzerland. We're going to hop on a train.
So excited.
And I know, we're very excited.
You had never been, you've been to Switzerland, right? But you've not been to Lucerne.
Correct.
Right? Because you had a gig out there?
I did not have a gig in Sweden. Oh. I had a couple of gigs.
You were in Switzerland,
Stockholm.
Though?
Yes, I was in Switzerland. Yep.
Was that just vacation?
That was a vacation
because
I have an uncle. One of my mom's brothers lives in Germany,
Oh,
so
that
I
was
was
part of
visiting
that?
with them, and we did a road trip, and we went into
Was
Switzerland.
that the same time
a little
Dennis
bit.
was there?
No, Dennis
Okay.
was there a different time. Same uncle though.
Okay, we'll have to talk
But,
about that
yeah,
offline.
yeah.
Because I'm sure it's some stuff you didn't want me to know, but now you're telling me for the first time. So,
Sure.
unless we want everyone to hear that reaction,
Sure.
go ahead, tell the story.
Which story would that
Lucerne or what? Switzerland? Where'd you go? Zurich?
be? What?
You said you were in Switzerland.
No, I think it was in Strasbourg. I was with my
Strasbourg
uncle.
is France.
Oh, I was in. I don't know. We went into Switzerland. I was not driving. I was not.
Oh, but you
leading
weren't like in
the
Zurich
train.
vacationing and doing all that kind of stuff. You
No.
like just passing through the country.
Correct.
Oh, got it.
Well,
Okay.
kind of like go over the border. We maybe drove through. We saw some. I don't know.
Town
I can't
and drove-
remember.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. I
Got
can't
it.
remember. This was before I had children. So this is.
Oh, you were a baby.
20. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Yep.
Lucerne came about because my daughter Alex, the one that did not quit on me.
He doesn't mean it.
He listens to this. She's going to kill us when we go out there for Thanksgiving.
Us?
Me.
Yes.
So,
thank you.
Alex, right out of college, as a graduation gift, her and her now husband Sam toured Europe. Too long to get into, but they went to a bunch of different places. I think they were gone for 18 months. Are you even paying attention when I say stuff like that?
Nice try.
So I was totally trying to say, are you listening?
Nice try.
I tried. So they went out there for maybe 6 weeks, if I recall, or longer. Anyway, they went to Lucerne, and every night when they were traveling, they would get to their hotel where they had Wi-Fi and just send pictures to everybody. And Lucerne looked stunning. And when they came back, I asked, what was your favorite city? And she said Lucerne, all the trips or the places they'd been to. And I think they were in like Serbia. I think they were all over. I mean, just crazy trip. They ended in Paris for sure. I think they spent a full week in Paris, but they went everywhere. Maybe Morocco. I can't remember, but just imagine north to south of Europe and all that. Anyway, she said Lucerne was her favorite, and I asked her if it looked in life as pretty as the pictures do, because anytime you see pictures of Switzerland, it just looks stunning, right?
Yeah.
Like vibrant colors, and she said it's exactly like that.
Yeah.
So it's been on my map since that time, and I've been sharing it with you forever, right? Mm-hmm. And so, and in fact, Alex and Sam just got back from their honeymoon, which was in Barcelona, and they went to Mallorca and to San Sebastian. Is that how you say it?
I'm pretty sure it's San Sebastian.
It's not San Sebastian.
No.
And I still asked her what was your favorite city of all the European places you've seen, and Lucerne came out on top again. So when we were looking at the map with your family and we're going over the whole trip, we were going to go to Normandy.
Yes, with our couple of days.
Yeah, with a few days, which is 2 hours away. And I kept looking at the map going, oh, yeah, it's only 4 hours. And 4 hours, so everyone knows, is from Milwaukee, where we live, to Iowa City, where Sam played baseball last year. And I would make that drive on a Wednesday to watch him play baseball at 7 at night. And then I would drive home after he was done. So I'm thinking, I'm 4 hours away. I'm an Iowa City trip away from
Lucerne. Got to do it. It was on your heart.
And
so we're doing it.
I remember sitting down in the kitchen one morning going, hey, I know we're going to Normandy, but I was wondering, and I was terrified that you were going to say too much money, can't afford it, shouldn't do it, like all these reasons not. And then you said, yeah, why not? And I'm so excited.
Yeah,
So
I'm
beautiful
excited
hotel
too.
we're staying at, right on the river. So we're going to Lucerne.
Yes.
And so I'm excited about that. So
Yes.
we're going to be gone for 13 days, right?
Yeah.
Total?
Yes. Yeah.
I'm so excited.
Good long time.
Good long time. Do you think
Yeah.
we will get along the whole time?
I
That's
do.
the 2 weeks we will not have a podcast.
Yeah.
We're going to take 2 weeks off. Do
we
you think
will
we'll have
get
a good time?
Oh gosh, yeah.
You do?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think we'll get along?
Yep.
Do you?
Yeah. Sorry, babe.
Does anyone want to put wagers on it? All right.
You're really good at wagers. Would you like to make
Shut
another?
down the conversation now.
Go Bears.
Drive. You're an ass blower. Let's segue, shall we?
Okay.
We have 2 other trips coming up. One is November 9th, 10th, which may get canceled now for reasons that we'll have to share later, potentially. Thank you, Son Sam. And then we're going to Sea Key the week after Thanksgiving to celebrate a late.
Try again.
Where's Bennett? We're going to Seattle to Sea Key to celebrate a late Thanksgiving, the week after Thanksgiving. So we're going to head out there, spend some time visiting her and her pals in Seattle, and then we're going to make a Thanksgiving dinner on the 29th, I think, or the 28th, whatever it is. So I'm excited about that too. So we're going to be in Seattle. What are you looking at me that way for? What's going on? What's happening? I didn't have any caffeine or cocaine.
Go ahead. Do you think everybody wants to hear our travel schedule?
I said I want to talk about travel. I'm having a bad day. My daughter bailed.
I feel like we're going. And then I went upstairs and went across the room.
This show is about nothing anyway. You always want to go deep into the pool and talk about relationship growth and
I wrote my to-do list.
I just
for
don't.
my errands.
I just want to be light and breezy right now. I don't want to go deep. That's what she said.
Oh,
I just want to be light and breezy. Don't shake your head at me. Are you listening? So see, this is really us though, right? People are saying this is your life every day. Fine, we'll transition. Can I just say one more thing?
You can say whatever you want.
Your friend Aaron Tim posted on something about our podcast and us doing the Blue Zone diet.
Mm-hmm.
So can you share with everybody the Blue Zone diet status and how we're doing?
We're doing great. I know Jack is low on energy too, so we're starving to death. No, just kidding.
No, don't say that.
We're not. We've been eating really, really clean. I did have probably 5 tortilla chips this evening.
That's all right. Who cares?
Yeah.
I cut out meat, and I did this once before where I cut out meat from my diet. I just didn't supplement it with the right vegetables, grains, beans, and stuff. And now that I have my energy level, you know it clearly. My energy level's up because I have better vegetarian diet. I don't know that I'm going to be a vegan or a vegetarian. I just know I've reduced the amount of meat I eat. And I have lost
Tell the people
15 pounds in 2 weeks.
15 pounds in 2 weeks. Which,
yes, ma'am.
Now
no energy loss.
You have been eating very, very little food.
Well,
right?
And
when you do eat, you eat good stuff.
Yeah, so I know you don't like the fact that you feel it that I'm rationing. And I'll give you that one day we didn't have any healthy food in the house. And I'm like, I'm just not going to eat then. Which is not the right answer. I'd go to the store and get some food. Right? You don't have to eat the shit that's there if you don't feel like eating it. Just go to the store. And I was like, I'm not going to the store. I'll just wait till dinner.
Yeah, I don't think we made dinner that night.
Yeah. So we had the quinoa bowls maybe or whatever it was. But you just worry that I sacrifice too much and so I'm hungry.
Yes.
To be fair, I am trying to shrink my stomach a little bit and eat less because, come on, this is the truth what I'm about to say. When we would go out to eat, we would work out, like we'd burn calories during the day, but then we would go to Crafty Cow, which has phenomenal fucking burgers. Cathy loves this mushroom burger, and I love this peanut butter and jelly burger they have, right? So we go to Crafty Cow, which is also a microbrew, right? We'd have beautiful burgers, a thing of fries, and a beer each. Then you would order a second beer. I would finish the fries, your fries.
Yeah, I never finished my food.
And you never finished your burger. You wouldn't finish your food. So I'd eat your burger, the rest of it. Your fries.
You didn't. I always brought it home. I got my mushroom burger. I would
always eat your fries.
I ate it.
I would eat your fries.
Yeah.
And then you would drink a half of the second beer. And I would drink it.
Yeah.
I'd finish it. So let's be sure for everyone listening. I'd have 2.5 beers, a burger, 2 orders of fries. And what?
Well, this is how we got in the predicament we did. We were having a really grand old time.
Yeah, I asked you the other day. I was happy.
Yeah.
How do you put a price tag on that?
No, he's like,
now I'm miserable.
I can't.
I'm manifesting all these bad things. My daughter's bailing. My youngest son's going crazy.
So we've made a couple of recipes. We have in the fridge right now this beautiful minestrone soup that
it's so good.
Jack made with his mom, and chock full of veggies and beans and yummy stuff. And so I had that today, and it's not hard to do if you make sure you have those vegetables on hand. You just need to make sure you have those vegetables and those grains and those beans and herbs and all those basics on hand. You can create a lot of stuff. But we have the Blue Zone cookbook. We're enjoying checking that out. We have not tried to make our sourdough bread quite yet. I look forward to doing that. Yeah, we got to work. I've never made it before, and it takes a week for the starter to grow and be ready. Yeah. And so it's kind of fun to imagine that sourdough bread is actually on the Blue Zone diet, because I think we've all been so trained to stay away from bread. Bread is evil. Yeah. And I've always loved sourdough. I didn't know
sourdough is great. I didn't know it was I didn't know it was as beneficial to your body as it is.
Yeah, I did not either. But I usually kept sliced like we have right now.
I love
sliced sourdough.
Love sourdough. I agree.
So so good stuff. Yummy stuff. Avocado toast in the morning we've had, and
let's be sure, by the way, because it's not the Blue Zone diet, right? No. Even though we got the recipe book, it's the Blue Zone lifestyle. So we're trying to do more things with friends. Like I went out and made it a point to see people this week when I was in Chicago. You and I had some stuff that you want to talk about. We went to go see Linda this week and use that as a moment to stop by and see my mom. So the Blue Zones is not just food, it's lifestyle. We walked everywhere. Today I had to go to Chase Bank for some stuff, right? Yep. And it was 10 blocks, by the way. And so I could have easily jumped in my car, but I walked and walked back. So the Blue Zone lifestyle is about being physically active, eating correctly, spending time with family and friends, meditating, internal introspection, and on, and having healthy relationships.
And you've been great. I sleep at least until 7 o'clock in the morning, and you wake up early, and you've been doing yoga and stretching.
Every morning.
You love your routine with doing your crossword and Wordle, and you listen to the news and
get my own time.
And you get that time, and that's all been super healthy for you. And you've been using the Blue Zone. Well, and I have too. It's a byproduct. When you eat like that, you will lose weight. There's no doubt about it. You are dialing that up because you really wanted to lose.
I was a chubby chunk of shit.
You really, I'm saying, you were extra motivated to lose weight. Correct. So you've probably been taking the Blue Zone diet and Blue Zone lifestyle and really using it as a diet and really making sure portion control is
well, that's a big challenge for me, and eating slower is a challenge for me.
Yeah, you are a fast
eater. I just inhale stuff. What I will say, that I think I went about trying to reduce my meat intake a few years ago because I really didn't have the right source, and I really love the foods that are on here. Like I love beans, and beans are such a huge staple of this. Red onions, sourdough bread we've talked about. Yeah. We haven't stopped drinking, so here's the best part. I love bourbon. It's one of my faves. We have not stopped drinking because it does say red wine does have some value to it. So we went out tonight, had a glass of red wine, and I still lost the weight, right?
Oh, I had tequila, but
but I'm not. Yeah, but you took the sugar out. Yep. But I'm not. What's the word I'm looking for? I'm not busting my ass doing workouts. Yeah. Right. I'm doing yoga.
Yeah. So you did. We threw a few.
But it's not like I'm doing...
Like you rode to Cedarburg 26 miles, and then you did 16.
Yeah, 16. But I know, but it's not like I'm doing a P90X hour-and-a-half long workout every day when I'm drenched, right? So that whole notion of calories in, calories out, blah, 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 it's what you eat.
It's what you eat, yeah.
So anyway... it's working for me, and I'm really liking it, and I'm going to continue to do it. I want to still lose about 5 to 7 more pounds, and then I feel I can balance. And then I just want to balance it and maintain it because it wasn't healthy.
And paying attention to something like, I'm sure with any diet, if you're trying to stick to a diet, you really do scrutinize the choices you're making with your food. And I think that's really
It's
healthy.
smart
That's
anyway.
what I
We're not
feel
young-
is
we're not
really
kids.
healthy.
Even if you are kids.
Yeah.
So you want to pivot because I've got to produce 30 minutes of this, and it's already, we usually do about 40. So I'm just getting a little nervous. Watch when I do. It's gonna be like all these kind of sound effects. Like when I say something stupid, it's gonna be like, wah, wah. And everyone's gonna be like, "Where's Key? Bring her back."
Exactly.
It's gonna sound like a radio show program. Hey, you want to go deep into the pool, and for anyone watching, I'm gonna put my hand up and do this, and you can see if you're not watching, you're listening. My 4 fingers, like my thumb is across my right hand. My thumb is across my palm, bent in, and my 4 fingers are up in the air as if I'm telling someone, "Please bring me 4 beers."
Yeah.
Right, and then I'm curling my hands over my thumb, and so everyone knows, Cathy and I like going to talk to Linda, who's a marriage counselor. That's one of the things she does, but she's a family therapist, right? Mm-hmm. And I don't think we have problems. Do you think we have problems?
I like the idea that we see her just for a tune-up. Like we went to our appointment Monday, and as we're walking from the car, we're like, what are we going to talk about? Kind of like this podcast. What are we going to talk about?
Yeah.
And of course, it's not hard to figure out things to talk about. And we tapped into some really good stuff about our individual fears in the relationship, which is good, to address those and recognize those and label them as fear, And then Linda used, like Jack was just explaining, used this with her hands, with her one hand, explaining, what happens in our brains. I'm not going to do a good job describing this, but what happens in our brain when we are, everything's firing on all cylinders and we're doing well and things are cruising along pretty well in life and things are together and
then your daughter decides to not produce the podcast anymore.
But then you have moments where things go haywire and you're not firing in the right way. And I know personally that sometimes when I'm deep in an emotional situation and maybe it's upsetting or scary or something, I can't think straight. I really do. My brain signals go haywire. And I am a slow processor. And so go ahead, add to that.
No, this is where I begged Linda while we were meeting with her to be on the podcast. I sometimes think Linda thinks that she would be consulting us on the podcast. This is one of those moments where I'd like her to be on just to describe that thing to us for everybody, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to have her listen to this one and see if she'd agree to do that.
Yeah.
Like say, okay, I'll come on for a little bit. Like, hey, let's go to the clip. And like she'd be agree to do a Zoom call with us. Yeah. And we could use that clip because it has to do with neuroscience. That's where I was going. When you said you're haywire, your fingers were up in the air. If you're not watching the podcast and you're just listening, Cathy took that same motion. She's like waving for 4 beers. Like she's like, hey, 4 here, please. And so she's waving it. And then what Linda was describing was the neuroscience behind it. And I don't remember it's the frontal lobe or the cerebral cortex or vice versa. But when we are triggered, see if I got this right, we suddenly disconnect from our rational thought because it's very emotional. And emotions are okay, right? But we're incapable of accessing tools then that we've been trained to access so that we can lower that anxiety or whatever emotion we're struggling with at the time, where it creates a disconnect with the environment we're in, right? Do you agree with how I'm saying this? And so what she was really teaching us is that if we can somehow pause ourselves, what she's really getting at is you can't rely on your partner to solve the anxiety or to say things correctly all the time. We have to self-correct. Do you agree with that?
Yeah.
We have to self-love, self-correct, self-audit.
Yes. Yeah, that's self-talk.
And so she said that when she was at a conference with, among other therapists, when the lead guy who was talking about this concept put his hand up with everything and then curled his fingers over his thumb to say, let's bring ourselves back in. That's the brain working and functioning correctly.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone in the room, all the other therapists went, oh. And so Linda literally said we should practice. If we feel that way, put the hand up, circle it over, and realize we need time for ourselves, even if that's a cue between each partner.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, of course, we joke and say we just see ourselves walking around the room with our fingers up, pointing our hands down. So, anyway, it was you had a really profound experience from it, right? Or no?
Yeah, I think it was a really good visual, and I was actually really happy to hear from you that you can get into a state of fear as well. And your fear looks different than mine,
Mm-hmm.
right? And not surprisingly, because we're different people.
Yeah.
And and I think that, or I hope that one of the takeaways is that we can recognize that in each other, you know, when it's happening. It's like, oh,
It's okay. I hope my goal from it, while you're yawning there, is that we also, I agree with you, we also recognize it in ourselves. Like,
yeah, first and foremost in ourselves. Yeah.
And so
Agreed.
it's great if we can help each other. Hey, are you feeling disconnected, right? Because I'm sensing that. And I hope that wouldn't lead to, no, I'm not feeling disconnected. You didn't do what I asked you to do.
My fingers are all wrapped around my thumb right now. Can't you see?
No, I agree with you. It's both, right? It's being able to self-manage,
Yeah.
self-reflect, and be helpful to your partner.
Yeah. Makes me think of when, you know, we always think of making sure our babies learn to self-soothe, right?
Yeah, I like that.
And it's kind of the same thing as
totally.
adults. It's
Well, Linda's point was that when those moments happen, we are that child.
yeah.
I mean, that's what came. It's interesting when you talk about fear. I had a question for you. Oh, here it is. Got it. Do you feel that some of the fears that we have born out of our childhood and now related to our relationship specifically stems from the fact that we're divorced and we're doing this a little bit later in life? Do you think there's a correlation to that, or is that not how you would connect those dots?
I don't know if I'd connect those dots that way.
Okay.
And maybe I'm not fully understanding what you're asking me, but I feel like, you know, the divorce, the idea of the divorce and executing the divorce and then living on the other side of divorce, that was not something that I had in my, I don't think I really was processing any of that. Is that what you mean?
No, I mean, because we've gone through divorce and previous relationships, maybe I'm speaking for myself, that my fear, Linda called it out, right? My fear is that you're going to bail.
Yeah.
Right. And so I'm going to be a little bit, because I had been bailed on before, as have you, that my sensitivity is ratcheted up, whatever that number. I don't want people to think that I just walk around, you leaving me? It's not that. It's that when things get stressful, rather than you leave me, fuck it, I'm going to bail. I'm going to go.
Yes.
And because it's not because I don't care about you, it's because I'm protecting myself. And you have similar protective mechanisms that just manifest differently or look different.
Yeah,
so I was just
absolutely.
curious if you felt.
Yeah, and I think it's really important because I felt like we had it was really, really a helpful session. And I felt like we had many takeaways. And one of them was, okay, when Jack goes into protective mode, he does this. And when Cathy goes into protective mode, she does that. And both of our protective modes actually feed the fire of our fear.
Correct.
You know,
right.
because like I start, you pull away, and that makes me afraid. And
then I don't feel heard.
Yes.
Because your reaction is, well, I'm not going to listen to him. Fuck him. I'm trying to do this. Now I'm like, well, she doesn't even hear me. And we end up doing what we were talking about, a race to the bottom. Right? And Linda brought that out of us, and it was a really great session with her, right? Like, it was really enlightened. Let me back up. There are people who know us very well. My mom, family members, etc., your friends, all that stuff, your family. I really want everyone to understand this. The purpose of this podcast was not to give advice on how to do things, was to listen to us. And if you can glean something from us, right? If our kids can glean something about, oh, they've experienced that. That sounds familiar. Oh,
yeah,
that's something they've learned and they're practicing. That's what I hope this podcast does.
Yeah.
It's truly for us is to share what we're learning. And I say that because...
And it's in real time.
Yeah, well, this was just yesterday. And we both walked out of that session and you said, which I love that you said this. You said, I feel like we just add another layer to the growth tree. Or however you said it.
A growth ring.
A growth ring. Sorry, growth ring.
You know, all relationships, and ours is only 2.5 years young, but it feels we have had, you know, moments where we've struggled, right? So moments where we've always come out on the other side of that struggle. And we have takeaways and we learn, and we don't always still get it right. It's not... But I think that I describe it like a growth ring in a tree, you know, in the trunk of a tree. And so coming out of therapy and getting on the other side of some of the, of our fears, or understanding our fears better in that way, and understanding each other's fears, felt like a growth ring. It felt like a really important session yesterday that we have a huge takeaway from. So it felt like this stretching of growth. And this relationship is important to us. And we're also smart and experienced and not naive to think that it's going to always be how you and I are when we soar, which is we're unstoppable when we're good. Well, who the fuck isn't, right? I mean, right.
And so we want to get better at those moments when we're not great. Because
they're going to happen, right?
Yeah.
We're not sitting here thinking we got to...
It happened earlier if you're listening to the podcast, for fuck's sake. People got to see the real us. We just believe that for this relationship to go as long as it can go, the Blue Zone's lifestyle and everything, this has to have time to evaluate where we are, to talk about the places we struggle, and to see one another. And that's what Linda represents for us right now. Right? And so I know you like going to the deep end of the pool with this podcast. And I'm going to ask her, even if it's just via Zoom, to define what that means. You know what she'll do? I know her. She's going to send me a link of the guy doing it.
Yeah.
She won't participate.
Yeah.
Which is fine.
Yeah.
And maybe if I can get that by tomorrow, I'll put that at the end of this.
Yeah.
Because I'm producing it now.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
but she gave us this hand symbol, and it was a good visual. And I actually even said in the session yesterday that we could actually use it, like, you know, we don't have all the words. If we just hold up 4 fingers, it means, hey, I'm firing. I'm going haywire right now. I have this
vision of me putting the 4 fingers up, and then you just coming up to them and grabbing them and snapping them, going, "Yeah, how's it now?"
You can take your 4 fingers,
shove them up your ass,
stick them in your ears. All right. Oh my God.
All right, ask a question. Let's wrap it. What do you say? I'm tired. I'm sorry. Did you have more? Did you have more? Did you want to add more? I'm sorry.
No, babe, all good.
You and I are yawning throughout this entire podcast.
I know.
So
we're so
I'm hitting the wall. It's 21:37.
Which is, hold on. All right. Pick a card.
Okay. Do I read it to you?
Yeah.
Oh my God, this is a funny one. We're both going to answer it? Oh,
Yeah.
I'm going to surprise you.
Oh, okay.
Or do you want to do your own?
No.
All right.
No. We'll do
The
same
question
way.
is, why do you care if I work or not?
Why do I care if you work or
Yeah.
not? Like a job?
Yeah. I think so.
Because I don't think I have enough money to support us both. There's that.
Because I'd like you to help pay for things.
Yeah. Because
I don't. That's a weird one, isn't it?
that is a weird one.
Why do you care if I work or not? I mean, do you not want to work? Do you not want to work?
I would love to not work, Jack.
For real?
For real. Yeah.
Oh, I don't think I could ever stop working. You know that, right?
Yeah.
I don't think I can.
Yeah.
I
would love to not work.
Even doing this.
I would
kind of
do
stuff,
something. I would do something.
I
but-
like money.
Mm-hmm.
And I like doing things. Do you want to read a
I
different
like
one,
money
or-
too, so I want money and not work.
Oh, so you
Yeah.
want me to take care of you? Hi, my name's
I
Sugar,
wanna
last
win the
name Daddy.
lottery.
Oh,
I want to win the lottery.
let's try doing that.
That wasn't my favorite card.
Is that a
Let's find
strategy?
Another one.
Let's find another one. Do I
Yeah.
pick it this time or do you want to pick it? Why don't you pick it? Because maybe we'll have better luck.
I pick it.
Not that one. Okay.
What would make you leave me?
Oh, I got a list.
I know this
Hold on,
one.
let me pull my list up.
List. If you put my work boots on top of my
Snoring.
dress shoes again,
Snoring.
oh, you're out then.
First night we were together,
Mm-hmm.
I had it going on the couch and I went, what am I doing with this woman? First night. I had to go to the couch and I didn't know where you kept your blankets because everyone keeps blankets somewhere, right? Like spare blankets somewhere. And we had that tiny condo and I wanted to open up the closets. Remember those billfold closet doors? And I started opening here. Bifold, rather, not billfold, bifold. And you're right. I'm going, oh, I'm going to wake her up. And all I hear was, and it's 2:00 in the morning. I'm like, I can't sleep. So I go, and it was
awful.
and it was fall, so it's warm. So I go out to the couch, but I need a blanket on me. So I take coats from the closet and I put coats on me. So clearly it's not snoring that would make me leave you. It's dishonesty.
Dishonesty, yeah.
100%.
I was going to say that your answer would be infidelity.
Yeah, same thing for me. It's
Same thing?
dishonesty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What would make, so if I was going to answer that, what would make you leave me? What would make me leave you?
Oh, there has to be something. I would think it's the same exact thing.
Well, it
If
is
you
the same
if you
exact
say I would
thing.
never leave you, I would fight through all of it, then everyone's gonna think I'm an asshole. And if that's your goal,
No, so definitely dishonesty the same. Yes, that's for sure. I love how honest this relationship is. I mean, we have even shared really hard things with each other, right? Like,
we don't need to talk about them.
and I think I would, I don't know. I've learned so much in this relationship. I'm so grateful for so much that
Oh
you
my
bring to
God,
the
if there is
relationship.
nothing, you would leave me if I said I cheated on you?
Yeah, I would. Yeah.
Oh,
that's a deal
you would
breaker.
stay with me if I said I cheated with you? Ready?
No.
It was a moment of weakness. I was at the bar. I'm so sorry. I've been really
No.
stressed. I love you so much. Please forgive me. I don't know why I did it.
No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't stay with you for that.
I would
Through
stay
that.
for you with that. I
You
would say you needed.
bullshit. Bullshit.
I would prefer. Well, we're not going to go down that path.
Honesty.
It's
Yeah.
really
I guess
about.
it really is all
it's-
honesty.
I
Because that
underst-
encompasses a lot, doesn't it?
Well, I don't want it to make it like too broad. Like you said, you're going to put the dishes away, but you didn't. You lied to me. I'm out.
You said you were going to pick up soy milk today.
I mean,
and you didn't.
it's something where you were very intentional to harm the relationship. So an extramarital thing is intentional to harm the relationship, especially now knowing that that's something that would bother me. Right. So it's intending to do something to harm the relationship. And so that's why I call that honesty, because that's important to me. But I don't know if that sits the same way with you.
Yeah, it does.
Baby, great podcast. I'm going to have to learn how to do my first hour-long production. Key,
you got
we
this,
will
babe.
miss you, and we hope
yeah.
you come back when life eases up for you. We appreciate you being honest with us.
We have loved all you've done for us.
We wouldn't be here without you at all. The software, everything that we are is because of you, Key. So we are experiencing a dialectic, and we are sad that you won't be doing this anymore. We are mad that I have to do it ourselves, and we are angry with you. All those can exist at the same time.
And we love you.
And we love you, and thank you for being honest about how this was just making it tough for you. So we miss you, and we love you. We'll see you.
All right. Thanks,
Peace.
everybody. Peace.
Jack and Cathy Shit Show outro take 652.
Start off laughing. You just listened to another episode of the Jack and Cathy Shit Show.
Our senior producers are me.
Hey, and me,
This episode was produced, engineered, and mixed by
the amazing Key Honar.
Email your questions, comments, or interesting relationship stories to jackandcathyshitshow@gmail.com. That is Cathy with a C.
Be sure to follow and like our marvelous shit show on Instagram and TikTok at Jack and Cathy Shit Show. Apparently, liking and following is a thing.
It is.
Yeah.
This episode was produced by Pint Productions 2022. Point!